Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of assets. You hear this word assets thrown around all the time in the finance space, but what does it mean? In simplest terms, an asset is something you own that has value. That value can be big or small, tangible or not, but ultimately it's something you can tap into if needed. Understanding assets is super important in building wealth because they work for you, even when you're not. So let's break down some of the most common types of assets you need to know. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what counts as valuable? Great question. An asset is anything that holds value and has the to generate income or appreciate in value over time. Think of it like this. Assets put money in your pocket. Now this could be through appreciation, like a house that goes up in value, or through income generation, like renting out that house. Even something like a dividend-paying stock can be considered an asset, as it can generate passive income for you. The key takeaway here is that an asset is something you own that can grow your wealth over time. When most people think of assets, real estate is usually the first thing that comes to mind. And for good reason. Your house is probably the biggest asset you own. But it's not just about the house itself. It's about the land it sits on too. Land is a finite resource, meaning they're not making more of it, which often makes it a good investment. And remember how we talked about assets generating income? Well, real estate can do that too. You can rent out a property, or even just a room, for some passive income. Plus, over the long term, real estate tends to appreciate in value. Of course, there are no guarantees in life, and the real estate market can fluctuate, but historically, it's been a solid asset class. Stocks can seem intimidating at first, but they're really not that complicated. When you buy a stock, you're essentially buying a tiny piece of ownership in a publicly traded company. So if that company does well, the value of your stock goes up, and you make money. Now there are a ton of different stocks out there, from big companies like Apple or Tesla to smaller, lesser-known companies. The key with stocks is to do your research, understand the company you're investing in, and remember that the stock market can be volatile in the short term. But over the long term, investing in stocks has been one of the most reliable ways to build wealth. Let's talk about bonds. Bonds are basically like IOUs issued by governments or corporations. When you buy a bond, you're lending money to that entity, and in return, they promise to pay you back with interest. Bonds are generally considered less risky than stocks, so they're a popular choice for investors looking for a more stable return. However, with less risk often comes less reward, so bonds typically have lower returns than stocks. It's all about finding that balance between risk and reward that works best for you. Now you might be surprised to hear this, but even good old-fashioned cash can be considered an asset. I mean, it's not going to grow at the same rate as real estate or stocks, but it's still important to have some liquid cash on hand. This could be money in your checking account, savings account, or even a money market account. Having cash gives you flexibility and peace of mind, knowing you can cover unexpected expenses or jump on a good investment opportunity when it arises. Just remember, though, that inflation can eat away at the value of your cash over time, so it's important to find a balance between keeping some cash handy and investing for the long term. And there you have it, folks. A quick rundown of what assets are and some common examples. Remember, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistently making smart financial decisions and putting your money to work for you. Diversifying your assets is key, so don't put all your eggs in one basket. Explore different asset classes, do your research, and find what aligns best with your financial goals and risk tolerance. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more financial tips and insights. See you in the next video.